Do you have any thoughts of like why Islamic fintechs generally they don't like get the funding that they need?
I don't know if I would agree with that. We've invested in quite a lot of compliant related startups in fintech, and they're able to get the funding that they need. I think actually a majority of the fintechs in our region are probably Sharia compliant in one shape or form.
I'm really interested in Islamic fintechs. I've been writing about them for the past decade, and this article I wrote about was off the back of this of the funding, and it was kind of asking the question: is why do Islamic fintechs, generally speaking, they don't number one they don't hit the mainstream for funding or the media, and number two, can they scale? I mean, do you have any thoughts of like why Islamic fintechs generally they don't like get the funding that they need?
I think when you look at it, there's I don't know if I would agree with that. We've invested in quite a lot of compliant related startups in fintech, and they're able to get the funding that they need. Startups like Money Fellows and NowPay in Egypt and a few other markets. There's a couple of interesting ones. I don't think that's the case. I think actually a majority of the fintechs in our region are probably Sharia compliant in one shape or form. So yeah, when you really look into it, they don't lead with we're a Sharia compliant, whatever, fintech. But when you look under the thing, they're like, yeah, this is a Sharia compliant company. Like, why would you think of it otherwise? So I think it's just the way that the marketing is done more than anything else.
Would you say that if they did lead with that marketing, that would have a negative impact on their potential fundraise?
No, I don't think it makes that much of a difference in the region. Actually, it might be helpful for them if they're raising from family offices.
Yeah, because like I'm just wondering, like we haven't other than this one, there hasn't really been that many. You can talk about Wahid Invest, which was a robo advisor from the US, so it wasn't really from the region, and you can talk about some other ones as well. Um, but there hasn't been like serious like funding like this one compared to this one, at seed stage at least. So
Again, I don't think it. I think it's just an unusual situation. I wouldn't use this as a case study for anything. But we've got a bunch of companies in our portfolio that they don't lead with the fact that they're Sharia compliant, but they are Sharia compliant startups using fintech in different ways. So Lendo is one of those, pretty solid, doing quite well. I think at one point Tabby and Tomorrow also have Sharia compliant backgrounds, and they're the best performing fintechs in the region. So I think for us, when we're looking at fintechs, most of them do have Sharia compliant business models, but they just don't. It's not. It's not really. It's just table stakes. Like, yeah, sure, of course we're Sharia compliant. Like, why would we not be? And I think that's a lot
do you
of
look
the
at
BNPL.
do you look at them differently? Would you look at say would you look at an Islamic fintech? Say if there was an Islamic and a conventional fintech offering the same sort of product, albeit they're one's conventional, would you look at them differently from a value from like a analysis perspective?
No, not at all. Actually, so we're our fund is mostly Sharia compliant as well. So we don't have a Sharia board or anything, but we don't invest in sin sectors, and we tend to look for more Sharia compliant related startups as well in the region. It's just helpful, and our LPs are also positive related to that. So we have Al Jazeera Capital, which is one of the large banks in Saudi, and they're Sharia compliant as one of our LPs as well. So, yeah, we don't put it everywhere, but yeah, we don't invest in sin sectors. Most VCs in the region wouldn't, and a lot of them are are looking at the financial ratios to make sure that what they're investing in are typically within the Sharia compliance sort of guidelines and stuff.